Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Haley, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Dan.
Go ahead. You start the show with what you want to start the show with. You've got a ridiculous thing that you want to start with.
Happy 4th of July, Dan.
Yeah, I know. You're going to have to explain it because everybody's thinking, what is Haley talking about?
Any holiday that is not Christmas and maybe Easter,
I think I'm pretty
get
good with
involved
Easter, and I'm
But-
good with Christmas.
every other holiday is the 4th of July. It doesn't
not on-
matter. Doesn't matter.
Wait.
It could be Halloween.
Right?
It is the 4th of July.
Well, and the thing that I don't understand is I don't mean to do it.
It's just an automatic thing.
I was talking to the kids, right before Halloween. I was asking if they're wearing costumes for the 4th. And everybody looks at me like I'm an idiot.
Well,
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I do that.
it's very strange.
You would think that maybe the 4th of July is the pinnacle
right, like you
event
just
in my life.
love the 4th of July.
And I'm not a big 4th of Julyer either.
You don't like fireworks.
Not especially.
So how can you like the 4th of July?
I don't know. I like the food and I like going outside. But I
Okay.
don't really like lots of big get-togethers. I like it when the people go home. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really a mystery.
Maybe it's just I'm so pro-America.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It could be. That's entirely possible. Very patriotic. I hum a lot of patriotic songs
You
on a
have a
regular
flag
basis.
at your house?
I've got a flag everywhere, Haley. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere there's a flag. You look, there's a flag. And it's in an appropriate manner. I'm
The right
displaying it
etiquette,
because
yeah.
I know how to do that. Yeah, I don't know. 4th of July. I call every single holiday 4th of July.
Did
Haley
something
thinks
like
it's hilarious.
traumatic happen to you on the 4th of July?
I don't know. I intend to die on the 4th of July. That much I know. Anyway, we're going to have to move on and let Haley's pet topic go, but it is a question for the ages.
Yeah,
Maybe
it really is.
psychologists somewhere or regression hypnotists
There you
can help
go.
me figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Why do I cling so tightly? All right. Today on the show, I'm going to cling tightly to a very important topic that we're going to talk about at the end. And it's going to be about our contest. I'm really stretching there. We're going to give away all the stuff that we've talked about for the last month and a half. We have hyped this contest for a while.
Right.
Now it's time for us to pay the piper to...
And there's 5 winners.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a party. It's going to be as big as the 4th of July. I promise.
Gosh.
Everybody's going to be talking about the 4th for years. Anyway, we've got 5 winners. 2 people are going to win $1,000 home improvement packages from a number of businesses. We'll explain all of that. 3 winners are going to get $150 worth of Benjamin Moore paint.
Pretty
They
cool.
can use wherever they want. We do not have requirements or stipulations as to where you use your paint. This is America,
Yeah.
right? It's part of what we celebrate on the 4th. All right. Now, well, no, then also, I got to, before I get to that, I got to talk about our other big topic,
Yes.
which is going to be dealing with mice. I hate having mice in the house.
Well, it's very important this time of year. You know, this
They're
is
trying
when they
to-
start coming in a little bit. You'll find them in the garage more.
Lurking.
And-
They're lurking. When you see them lurking,
They're a little tricky.
yeah, you got to have a plan. We're going to talk about best practices when it comes to
Catching
trapping them. And I don't know that I said practices right, but everybody knows what I'm trying to talk about. So
Killing mice, people.
we're killing mice. And yeah, we'll teach you how to make a mouse skin cap. You
Ew.
can look like a real trapper.
No.
Well, probably not, but take a lot of them.
A
If you've
lot
got
of 'em.
that many, you got a bigger problem.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, that's coming up. It's all gold, and you're going to have to ride through all of that to get to the prize stuff. That's important. You can't just tune back in later because it will know. And
Yeah, we'll
make
know.
sure that you don't win then. Only people who have tuned in through the whole show have an opportunity to win. That's not technically true in case you do check that out. But something I'm saying. Right now, let's talk about another great big holiday, almost as big as the 4th in a lot of people's minds. And it's the end of daylight saving time. Daylight saving time in general is something everybody loves to talk about.
Savings?
Saving, singular. If you attach an S to it, you're a rube. You are,
Well, I'm a rube.
yeah, you are uninformed. And if you continue to do it after being informed, then you're just, I guess, ignorant or stubborn. So don't use an
Stubborn.
S. It's not right. And the people who care will let you know.
Dan.
I don't care.
Thank you.
You can use it all you want. So daylight saving time. You know,
Yes.
love it or hate it, we're in it. That's what's happening tonight. We set our clocks back and got to prepare for that. A lot of things happen. I'm still recovering from spring, the spring ahead. That one is worse
That
for
one's
me.
way worse.
Yeah, I hate losing that hour. Technically, the idea of gaining the hour back is a little nicer, but now it's dark so
Marketing
fast.
is better,
Yeah.
but like really, everyone's annoyed.
It's
still.
no fun when you're trying to mow up leaves when you've got a dog and it's dark already. I mean,
Right.
put those things together. You need to see the ground when you've got a dog and you're trying to do the leaves.
Well, I'm excited
dark,
for
it's
this
no fun.
segment, though, because you're going to run through kind of the history of where this came from.
Well, kind of.
And it's funny.
I think it is. I think it's got a lot of
I think it'd be a good drunk
possibilities.
history, honestly.
Although I'm not.
He's not drunk.
No,
For the record.
Repcolite and everybody listening.
It's just coffee.
Yeah,
in the mug.
this is me sober. I can be as idiotic sober probably as a lot of people drunk. So, daylight saving time. Who do we thank? Who do we blame? You know, let's just figure out who to blame. That's more important. And a lot of times we think that Ben Franklin is the guy. We got a level to blame at the feet of Ben Franklin. And it's not true. Completely inaccurate. He did reference a concept of changing time around, or not even really changing time, but just getting up earlier and getting the most out of our day.
Okay.
But it was kind of a funny little offside. He's living in France, and a bunch of the people around him are waking up at maybe what Haley would consider reasonable times, noon or something like that.
Not noon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing. And Ben Franklin's waking up at the right time, which is about 5 a.m. every day. Right? He's Ben Franklin. He's got a lot of things to do. And he's waking up and he's realizing that all these people are wasting their day. And so being Ben Franklin, he's going to write something a little snarky about it and make fun and just see what people think about it. So he makes a little joke in the Journal de Paris. I don't know how you say that in French.
Branch.
That's how I'd say it in French. And when he writes that, now I'm stuck on the accent. I got to get out of that. He writes that he was awakened by a loud noise at 6 o'clock one morning, and lo and behold, the sun was in the sky. Who would have ever thought?
Oh my gosh.
And he said, if everybody would start waking up earlier, you'd be surprised to see the sun in full glory, actually
So
giving light.
snarky.
Yeah, really snarky. And then he proposes that if they would just get up earlier, they'd save on candles because they'd actually be getting the work done that they're trying to get done at darker hours. They'd get them done in daylight.
Well, I'm sure the Parisians loved him.
They actually did.
Did
they? Yes, he wore a great big beaver skin hat.
Yeah, they liked
And
it.
oh man, it was like all the rage. This is completely off topic, but since I talked about mouse fur hats, beaver, it was, everybody loved it. They thought it was great.
I guess there was a time period where that was like really sought after. So.
Yeah, so maybe head to the mall with your mouse skin cap and a whole group of people will follow you. All right, so anyway, getting back to this. Yes, we can't blame Ben Franklin for that. Maybe other things. Now we got to look at two different guys, George and William. And we're going to start with George because he comes first. That makes more sense. George is from New Zealand.
Okay.
Sounds like a game show. George is from New Zealand. He likes fishing. And actually, George liked bug collecting.
Oh.
And that's really the whole reason behind George's proposal that we shift the time 2 hours ahead. That's what he wanted to do.
2 whole hours?
Yes. See, George worked, and when he got home, he didn't have enough hours of daylight to go out and collect all the bugs that he wanted to collect. I'm sure he had a very active social life outside of bug collecting. Anyway, because he doesn't have enough time, he comes up with the idea to completely mess with time for everybody and proposes this 2-hour thing. It catches on a little bit, but fortunately it doesn't go terribly far. So that's George. Now we got to transition to William. William takes it a little bit further and is a little more successful. He also did not have terribly philanthropic reasons for it.
It's just all about them.
It pretty much was. See, what William's deal was is he liked to get up early, like Ben Franklin. And he was probably really loud. That's what I picture. And his wife said, William, get outside.
You're waking everyone
You're waking
up.
everybody up with the microwave and the coffee maker, all of these things, slamming the doors. Just go outside. So William wanders outside. He's probably kicking the ground because he's frustrated. And then he sees the stable and he wakes up his horse, which I'm sure that wasn't really great. Yeah, it's loud too. But then he goes riding his horse all through the neighborhood. And as he's riding around, he's realizing there's so much sun.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all the holes that I need to avoid. Other people should be outside enjoying this wonderful weather. So that's part of William's deal. And William was also an avid golfer, and he was really sick of having his rounds cut short by the approaching dusk, deepening dusk. So he proposes that we change it and make it an hour later.
All
Spring
because
ahead.
of hobbies.
All because of his hobbies, right? So that really is the one that started the ball rolling. That's 1905, something like that. It really kicks in World War I. Germany implements it along with its allies as a energy saving step.
Yeah, I've heard of that theory.
Yep. So they implement it, and then, of course, Britain implements it because it's really tough to have a war with somebody when you're on different timetables.
Sure, yeah.
You know, we're going to bomb them then, but is that going to work? I don't know. What time is it over there? We better all be on the same time so we can figure it out. So they make the switch, all right? So that's Europe. That's over there. Let's talk about us, America, 4th of July, stuff like that. Who can we blame here? Well, it turns out we can blame one guy from Pittsburgh, and his name is Robert Garland. He's the reason that we've got it over here. And his reasoning was just like William's. He liked to be outdoors, and he thought other people should be. It's about other people who think they have a better plan for the rest of people.
So we're just going to...
change everything.
Wow.
Now, William, I got to cut William a little bit short, but I think I can hit the main points. Or I'm not William, Robert. I'm cutting Robert short. William got his full due. So Robert, couple really interesting things. He gets this approved by President Woodrow Wilson in 1918 as the first daylight saving time.
Okay.
He gets the pen that the president used to sign it into law. Well, the next year, it's repealed because the farmers lobby. We always say that the farmers want this and need this.
I was going to blame them.
Nope, they actually lobbied to get rid of it. They hate it. So they raise a stink and it goes away. Then later during World War II, another president, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Well, it's going to sound really smart, and I just really blew
Drunk
it.
history.
FDR. Sober. Drunk history, sober. I want that stressed very clearly. FDR signs it back into law, and Garland gets the pen again. All right?
So he's got two pens now?
2 pens. He's made it into
On
law
display.
twice. Eventually, it gets repealed again, and then it gets put back into place in the 60s. And when it goes back into place, there's not a lot of oversight. And so people are kind of just states and counties are just deciding when we're switching, whether we're going forward, whether we're going back, all of that.
So
there's
it's chaos.
Chaos. There was times in, there's lots of stories, but basically in certain parts of the country, there's a bus route between, I think it was Moundsville, West Virginia to Steubenville, Ohio, 35 miles.
Okay.
You change time 7 times.
Oh my gosh.
In that 35 miles because all these different counties and whatever had different rules.
Yeah, that's madness.
Very crazy. Then in the 60s, the Uniform Time Act came about, and it kind of brought things down to about where we are now. Jeez. So daylight saving time, who do you blame? I don't know. There's a lot of blame to go around. You pick your favorite person. Let them have it. Before we wrap this one up, I do think it's funny that Robert Garland, the guy in the U.S., the Pittsburgh guy, he got a lot of praise and a lot of hate.
Well, I would think so.
All the same time. So when fall would happen and everybody would spring back, he literally got tons of phone calls thanking him. What a brilliant man you are. I got an extra hour of sleep, all of this stuff. And then spring would happen.
And they're all after him.
Then he would get tons of phone calls. He'd even take the phone off the hook because he just didn't want to deal with it in the spring. Wow. So yeah, people have loved it, hated it.
Forever.
All the way back. We've got it. That's where we're at. And that's how we got there. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about mice and helping you fix that problem. That's all just ahead. Stay tuned.